Hi everybody, this is Herb Day, and on this episode of Beyond the Stage, we're going to be visiting with country music singer, songwriter, member of the Kentucky Country Music Hall of Fame, regular on the Penny Gilley Show on RFD TV, and owner of the world's most haunted country nightclub, Bobby Mackey. After nearly 50 years of providing country entertainment, dancing, and fun to the Cincinnati area as well as the great Midwest, the old club is coming down and a new one will take its place soon on Route 9 in Wilder, Kentucky. We're going to tour the old club as it's being demolished, and we'll visit with Bobby at the club's temporary home in Florence, Kentucky, here on Beyond the Stage, right after this. Beyond the Stage is made possible in part by Southern State Community College's Truck Driving Academy, where you can be behind the wheel of a big rig in as soon as 4 weeks. Call 937-393-3431 to find out how. And now, Beyond the Stage. Hello everyone, on this edition of Beyond the Stage, we have made, well, I don't really want to call it the road to Mecca. We made the trip to Wilder, Kentucky, and this is a friend of mine. We've been friends for nearly 50 years now. Yep. This is Bobby Mackey. Bobby, how are you, my friend?
Great, Herb. Great to have you here in the old, what's left of the old nightclub.
Yeah. Now, I guess the timing is everything because, first of all, we'll talk about back in 1978. This was the beginning of a dream that you had had.
Yeah, we just passed 46th anniversary.
Right. And so you opened your own club. You had been playing in everybody else's clubs up to that point.
I played for 8 years at 3 different clubs in the Tri-County area.
Yeah.
All of them were close together.
And everything just kind of came together right. It was right.
Yeah.
As you can see behind us, it was the days of the urban cowboy. And the main purpose, before I chase too many rabbits, is it's the end of an era for this building, but it's a new chapter in the life of Bobby Mackey and the life of Bobby Mackey's club, because you're gonna build a new building.
I still got some energy left.
Yes, you do.
And plans, dreams. I've always got dreams, you know.
Yeah.
But the 8 clubs I worked in, the 3 clubs I worked at over a period of 8 years, every time I'd leave one and go to the other, everybody would follow me.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm going to get my own place and maybe everybody follow me there.
Sure.
So then we opened this September the 8th, 1978. And that was ahead of Urban Cowboy. Urban Cowboy wasn't inside.
Yeah.
Opened the club and we had, you remember we had some WUBE Redneck Rileys here.
I do remember that.
We sold draft beer for $0.25 a cup.
Yeah, I know. But and those actually, that's about the time that we met. I was working for WUBE then, and
the all night cowboy there.
Yeah, the Midnight Cowboy. You used to come over after closing down here.
Yeah, several times.
And I would be here before going on the air. And so we spent a lot of time together. I tell you what, if these walls could talk, I mean, there are a lot of stories to tell. Not only
I probably wouldn't want to hear them.
No, well, some of them we wouldn't want to air. That's for sure. I wouldn't anyway. Tell me about some of the besides Bobby Mackey, some of the big names that have performed here in these hallowed halls.
You know, George Jones comes to mind.
Yeah.
And Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
My 2 favorites.
Absolutely, mine too.
And then, and by the way, we found a bunch of canceled checks where I wrote them checks.
Really?
We had Ernest Hubb was here. We had a check on him. We sold those in the auction we just had.
Oh.
We sold everything in this place.
Man.
But the George Jones check sold, went for over $500.
Is that right?
They bid on them.
Yeah.
In the auction, and Haggard's went near that.
Yeah. I've got to ask you, speaking
Gene Watson.
Gene Watson.
Check on Gene Watson, Ernest Hubb, Tommy Overstreet,
T.G. Shepard,
Johnny Russell.
Oh, it was Johnny Russell.
Johnny Russell here, and anyway, some of them I've forgotten about.
Well, I remember T.G. Shepherd. I remember Rabin Anthony. I remember.
Yeah, they were here for that WBE
That's
anniversary show we did. It was on Channel 19. Wasn't it?
Yes. There were so many more. It just Freddie Hart.
Yeah, Freddie Hart.
Freddie Hart.
Jack Green.
Yeah.
Del
Reeves.
Mo Bandy.
Yeah.
John Anderson.
Yeah. Man, oh man. So in one respect, it seems like it was just yesterday. In another, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and well, here we are today, and I'd been wanting to find a temporary place so we could get out of here and then tear this down. It's just beyond repair.
Right.
Parts of this building over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And the roof leaked everywhere. Just was nothing you could do with it, just beyond.
Yeah.
And I'd been looking and looked at several places. Everybody didn't know that, but I was kind of looking, and every place I looked at just wouldn't fit. And this place became available over in Florence. It was the old Mugby's.
Mm-hmm.
It was a popular place years ago.
And I think we're going to visit that.
Yeah, we're going to go over there.
Yeah.
Yep. And so when that became available, we just pulled the trigger on it, and we were able to get that. And we've been over there since March, and it's coming together real well. I'm really happy with the progress.
Yeah.
Each weekend I see the energy building.
Yeah.
Chugging along.
So you find that as you were talking about, prior to coming to this Wilder location, Wilder, Kentucky location, which is just directly across the river from Cincinnati, just south of Newport. You can see the skyline perfectly from outside.
Oh yeah.
But you talked about your crowds following you from place to place. They still do that. They followed you to Florence.
Yeah, been really fortunate. Several people, well, I see people all the time there that have been here through the years, about everybody. Oh, I used to come over to your old place all the time. Anyway, it's working out, and this place is going to be torn down soon.
Yeah,
real soon.
When do they start?
Well, we don't have a starting date yet. We've got to get everything together with the demolition outfit, and but going to get it. I'm keeping the well. The well's the well is in the basement.
I was going to ask you about the history.
We're going to build back all the way down there.
Yeah.
So the well's going to be on the main floor.
Now this is where the is that right?
Yeah.
So it's going to.
Yeah, I'm going to put lights in it and glass over it and frame around it and
now
railing around it. People can see it. It'll be right there in the main nightclub.
For people who don't know about the legends.
I don't know who don't.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine. But we have new generations coming on.
Yeah, you're right.
But the legend of Johanna.
Yeah.
Give me a brief overview.
All those stories. All that hasn't been in my mind lately. So
yeah,
I'd have to think real hard to bring up some of that. But all through the years, everybody's heard. Doug Hensley wrote a book about it called Hell's Gate, and the old well in the basement was originally. This site was a slaughterhouse, late 1800s.
Right.
And so they drained the blood from the slaughterhouse. There was a well that went down under the railroad track and into the Licking River.
Right.
It was a tunnel. So that's where they drained the blood from the slaughterhouse back then. Then later years, when Prohibition came along and they had this gambling casino here,
right,
they brought illegal alcohol up the Licking River and through that tunnel and up into the basement.
Yeah.
So served all kinds of purposes,
Sure. Wasn't this a part? Maybe I'm imagining this, but it seems like I remember something about it being a part of the Underground Railroad back in the days.
I'm not familiar with that.
It seems like I heard that.
But it was the original building they built here was a roadside tavern. It was called the Bluegrass Inn, and then they built onto it and made a gambling casino the Primrose Country Club.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that changed to the Latin Quarter.
The Latin Quarter.
And they had several things. Then they had bingo after that, but then they shut that down and sent everybody to prison. So, so there went the bingo.
Yeah, yeah.
So the place sat empty for a long time. It was open for a while. Somebody had like a rock joint out of it, and nothing ever stayed. But when I come here, the place was closed and nothing was here. And I took it over and made it work.
Did it seem like a daunting task to renovate it the way that you wanted it to be and open it up as a club?
Well, you know, it came about. I took out some walls so we can bring everything together. This was a casino room, and this room, that's where we had the mechanical bull.
Right.
But
let's walk around a little bit.
Okay.
And let's talk about that.
Yeah, this room was separated from the rest of it.
Yeah.
It was a casino room.
Right.
And I took these walls out so I could bring everything together.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even, when we first got the bull here, you couldn't see the bull from the bar. So I opened all that up and made that more friendly.
As a matter of fact, I remember that.
Made it more friendly.
Yeah. Now, we talk about the urban cowboy days, and right here, and if we could pan our camera to catch this square right here is where the mechanical bull was. But now, Bobby, let's talk a little bit about the first mechanical bull that you had here. I don't know if it was the first, but it was...
Well, the first one came from Gillies.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
And I'd been open about a year here, and then started hearing about all the stories about Urban Cowboy movie being made at Gillies.
Right.
And everybody was talking about the mechanical bull, and I thought that sounds like maybe a good idea.
Yeah.
So RJ and I went out there and checked it out, and ended up buying one. And Sherwood Cryer had bought the patent on the mechanical bull out in New Mexico somewhere.
Right.
And he got the jump on that and bought the patent before anybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Well, he built the bull. The first one he built was for John Travolta to take to his ranch and learn to ride for the movie.
Right.
The second one he built was in the movie. And the third one he built, I got.
Is that right?
I was the first one that bought one from him.
Yeah, yeah.
And it came in here in...
what was its name?
El Toro.
El Toro.
El Toro. And it came in here in October '79. Is when it came in.
Yeah.
And
it
we've had one. We wore out about 7 or 8 of them. I lost count, but we wore several of them out. We got one that's mostly wore out now, just waiting for us to get the new place open.
All right. I have talked to so many people, and they come up to me all the time with memories of Bobby Mackey's. And the first thing they talk about is riding the mechanical bull, and just having a great time in those days. And now it's their children and maybe their grandchildren that are still coming to Cincinnati's only nightclub.
I got a story I just heard about. My granddaughter Holly works at a nursing home. She's a speech therapist.
Right.
She works at a nursing home down in Butler or Falmouth, down that area.
Yeah.
And she had a patient there the other day, found out who she was, and this old lady in a wheelchair said, "I rode that bull years ago." I rode your grandpa's mechanical bull. And so Holly took a picture of her and sent it to me.
Yeah. Now, I've got to ask you, did you ever ride it?
No, I was on it for about 2 seconds.
Oh, were you?
That ain't called riding.
No, it's not. Well, I always kid people and tell them that I dislocated a knee and lost a front tooth and dislocated an elbow, and then they turned it on.
Yeah.
So
about the first weekend we had it, some guy split his lip open.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, I've seen them come flying off of this thing, and they just love it. It's like boxers, or it's like Rocky. Hit me again.
We got a patio over at the temporary place in Florence. We got a patio there, and I was going to try to put the bull out there on that patio, but really not quite enough room, so we just kind of just waiting.
Yeah.
get it back in business over here in a year or so.
Let's get a shot of some of the demolition that's taken place. Let's walk back towards. This is the green room, and by the green room,
It used to be.
Yeah, it used to be the green room, and this is what's left of it at the moment. But this is where the acts that would come in, the Merle Haggards, the George Jones, the Freddie Harts, and all that.
They hang out back here.
That hang out back here, and before and after their performances. But you can see it's been reduced to rubble. Now you did something really unique, and that is you had an option of a lot of the things that you had in here.
Yeah, a lot of old gambling stuff was still here.
Right.
From back in the gambling days, and I mean everything. Tables and chairs. Some of these chairs that had been here since the 1940s.
Is that right?
And they sold in the auction too.
Wow.
We sold the old Urban Cowboy Bull. Somebody bid on it and bought it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where it went, but I know we sold it.
Now you're going to in the new club, and we're going to talk more about that.
Yeah.
But in the new club, are you going to have a mechanical bull?
Yeah. Oh
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be just like this was when we shut it down.
Right. Let's journey over here and just kind of get a shot of the bar. Now you have to keep in mind that the lighting in here is pretty good right now, but this has been gutted pretty much, so there's not a lot of lighting. I don't know how well we'll be able to pick up, but this is the bar.
Yeah, those bars look so alone, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's really all alone.
Yeah. It is by itself.
Yeah.
And man, again, the memories. Anybody who sees this, it only takes a matter of a few seconds to just have instant recall.
Yeah.
Of what it was.
I'll always have it in my head.
Yeah,
I'll always see it in my mind.
Absolutely, you will. We have moved to the stage of Bobby Mackey's in the original building. And Bobby, as I stand here, and I remember performing here myself
many
times. But as I think of that, and I remember the familiar surroundings, I have to wonder, how many times have you graced this stage?
I wouldn't know, but I've probably sang more songs here than McDonald's has sold Big Macs.
I'd say that's true. I'd say that is true. I remember the dance floor being full. I remember the band was hot. You've had some incredible musicians.
Yeah, I always had a good band, and I still do. We're carrying on. It ain't what I'd call home.
Yeah.
But it's working out. It's got its own personality.
So again, we talked about this before, but the new building. Do you have any idea when construction on that's going to begin?
No, we got to get this all removed, and then make the plans with have it
sure
prepared.
But it's going to be
each project is going to take a while.
It's going to be pretty much the layout that we have here.
The floor plan is going to be basically the same. I want it to remind everybody of this place.
Yes.
When I lay out the floor plan.
Yeah. Well, I think that is just a wonderful idea. Talk to me some about your daughter is singing, and you're recording together.
Yeah, we just did an old gospel song.
Yes, and we've added it to our rotation.
Good. Yeah, we talked about doing that for a while, and
it's a great song.
She appeared with me on the Penny Gilly show a month or so ago.
Yeah,
I'm a regular on the Penny Gilly show.
Yes, you are
on RFD TV. It's on every Friday, and she's invited me to join again next year.
Yeah.
So,
one of the wonderful things that you have done, and you're really the first one that I've met who's done this. Richard Lynch is another one, but you've been doing this so long, and you had the idea long ago. About the time that you came here, Nashville was calling, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was. In my mind, I was either going to move to Nashville or get my own place.
Yeah.
And I chose to get my own place and stay here because I figured that if I owned the place, I could go to Nashville anytime I wanted.
That's exactly right.
So I didn't
and
have
you didn't have to starve.
I didn't have to I've been a little fish in the big sea.
So, you have built you've built your own Nashville.
Yeah, I've been very blessed. Everything has worked out for me, but you got to give some consistency to that.
Right.
I was consistent with everything.
Yes. And you never dropped out. You just
Stayed consistent.
going.
And I was right here singing every weekend that I could. The only time I haven't been here in the 46 years, the only time I haven't been here is if I happen to be sick,
Right.
or had something important to have to do elsewhere.
Right. Well, you still did some touring and some shows away, and you usually had a band to cover for you and that sort of thing.
We're doing the Brown County Fair this year.
Oh, are you?
On 27th.
Okay.
September 27th.
All right, excellent. Well, we'll be sure and catch you there. You talked about being on the Penny Gilley show, and that's every week, and that's just one more extension of your enterprise.
Yeah, I went out there back in February and filmed 24 shows in 2 days.
Wow. And where's that filmed?
At the Little Red's Longhorn Saloon in Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth, Texas. Do you kind of feel like a Texan?
Yeah, I've always wanted to play in Texas, and I got the chance to do that, and I've met a lot of great singers and musicians out there.
Yeah.
I really got a kick out of meeting a lot of the people I'd heard about.
Right.
And but another blessing up on me. I'm very humbled by all this, but I'm being inducted into the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame this year.
Yes, you are, and congratulations on that.
Thank you,
my brother.
Thank you. I'm very, very honored by that.
That's been a long time coming.
Well, yeah, and I never looked for it.
Yeah,
it wasn't something I planned on.
Well, and that's when it's the sweetest.
They come up here all of a sudden a few months back. I didn't know this was coming. RJ knew this was coming.
Yeah.
They come up to introduce it here on stage one night. I had no clue. And they introduced it here, had a big banner to go with it. And wow, I about fell over.
I bet.
But it is an honor, and I'm,
Well, congratulations.
I'll wear it proudly.
Congratulations on it. You mentioned RJ. RJ Seifert has been with you for wow.
Yeah, one of the best promotion people on the planet.
Yes. and talk about consistent. He's been consistent with you through the years.
Yeah.
I remember RJ when he was working for WSAI here in Cincinnati.
That's where I got him.
Yeah. I was at WUBE. We were, well, I don't want to say we were competitors, but I was on the air. I think he was doing sales and promotion and that type of thing at the time. But he has, he's really worked hard for you.
Oh, yeah. Very consistent also.
Yeah. And in fact, he's here today and looking just as young as ever.
Well, he was at WSAI when the Urban Cowboy movie thing come about.
Yeah.
And when he and I discussed the Mechanical Bull, he looked into it, checked into it, but he was working for WSAI then.
Yeah.
So he had the whole rundown and gave me all the information. I said, well, I got to go see it.
Yeah.
I can't buy a Mechanical Bull to bring over here unless I can see it.
Absolutely.
And I want to see how people take to it. And
yeah.
Texas being rodeo oriented, Texas and rodeos go together. I didn't know if these Kentucky boys would ride the bull like the Texas guys did, but I found out that they did.
Well, let me tell you something about Kentucky boys and girls.
Yeah.
Is all you have to do is just present the challenge, and they will not only meet it, but they will beat that challenge.
Yeah, set records.
Oh, absolutely, every time. When you purchased that bull, did it take special assembly? Did somebody come with it?
It came all set up, ready to go. they delivered it here. I had about 4 or 5 guys drag it off a truck that delivered it here.
Yeah.
We set it up right there in the bull room.
Wow. Bobby, let me ask you this. As you think back over the years, what are some of your favorite memories surrounded by this club?
Well, one time, what comes to mind first here, one time we got a call and there was a show over at the Riverbend.
Uh-huh.
It was Brooks and Dunn, Toby Keith, and I think Montgomery Gentry was in the show. And so they called after their show and wanted to come over here. Wanted to know if I had some security for them and a place to park the bus. So I knew they were coming, but everybody didn't. Well, they showed up and all he wanted was a case of Coors beer on the table. So they showed up and they sat right back over there outside the green room over in the corner. Nobody knew they was here.
Yeah.
And I was out there at the time, and then when Ernie introduced me to the stage, I come up and sung Boot Scoot Boogie. I sung Boot Scoot Boogie, and I sung about half of them, looked up, and here come Ronnie Dunn, took the mic away from me and started singing, and everybody about broke their neck.
I'll bet they did.
Everybody snapped.
Yeah.
The people dancing, when they heard him, I was singing it, and they heard him singing it. Well, that was very familiar, and everybody just like broke their neck. Like,
I'll bet.
It was crazy. People was up here pulling to the stage and everything.
Yeah.
It was really crazy. And so after he finished that song, Toby Keith come on up and took over, and they all sang, several songs together. I just stood back and let them go.
Oh, what are you going to do, huh?
That's a memory right there.
That is a memory. That is a memory. Well, and so many more to come. New memories, a new chapter in the life of Bobby Mackey, and we're going to visit more with Bobby. But we're going to visit his club in Florence. It's temporary.
A temporary place, yeah.
Temporary location. You'll be able to catch him until this building is rebuilt, and that'll hopefully be not in the not too distant future. So when we return,
I can't say enough about the city of Wilder. The city of Wilder has been so great to me. And
talk to me about the city of Wilder and their support.
Mayor Valerie Jones came over at our anniversary weekend, last weekend. She come over and presented me with a plaque of proclamation and said she couldn't wait till I got back here to Wilder. She told the mayor of Florence that I was only on loan.
Yeah, there you go. Go. Well, you've been good to Wilder. Wilder's been good to you.
Absolutely.
And one other thing I want to point out is country radio has been good to Bobby Mackey.
Yes, very, very good. And I've been recording all the time.
Sure.
All along. You've always played my music.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Well, it's not just because we're friends. It's because I'm a fan.
Yeah. Well.
And my listeners love Bobby Mackey.
I hope to always put out records that's worthy of some play. I like the one that got out now about I'm going to wish I'd never seen this hat.
Tell me about that.
I'm going to wish I'd never seen this hat.
I would.
The guy pretended to be a cowboy, and this girl got to liking him because he was a cowboy.
Yeah.
But he only bought the cowboy hat that day.
I got it. I understand.
And she said she really liked cowboys, so he signed up for the weekend rodeo.
Oh my goodness.
But I can't rope and I can't ride, and I'll bust more than my pride.
Oh man. And that is written by
Randy Archer.
Randy Archer.
From down in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Okay.
I've recorded 3 of his songs.
Ah, fantastic.
He's a great writer.
Well, look forward to hearing that on Red, White, and Blue Country in the not-too-distant future. Thanks for watching Beyond the Stage. If you enjoy what you see here, please click like at the bottom of your screen and subscribe to my channel. For more of your favorite country music and the men and women who make it great, I hope you'll visit us often here on Beyond the Stage.